Hey dudes, welcome back to another Guilty Gear Strive video. The developers just dropped a lot of news on us, so I figured today we can go over that in a nice, brief, and concise video. And with this news, I want to talk to you guys about some of the changes they're going to be making to Guilty Gear. Now check it out, before we get into today's video, if you want to stay up to date with all things Guilty Gear Strive, subscribe, stick around for a while. We got an amazing thing going here, and I'd love to see you guys around here more often. But with that said, let's hop right into it. If you head over to news right here, you'll be brought to this page where we can see the developer's backyard. And they give us a lot of stats for specific characters and all that good stuff. I'll leave a link to this just in case you want to see this stuff down below, but I'm not going to go over that in this video. Now, if we scroll down here, this is where a lot of the meat of the information comes in. They immediately start talking about the tutorial mode, saying how some people liked it, some people weren't so fond of it, but overall, they thought it was pretty successful. And they specifically left out explanations for certain game mechanics, that way people can kind of experiment and didn't feel so bogged down by information, allowing for a little bit more freedom. However, they recorded a lot of fights in the first floor of the tower and saw that a lot of new players weren't utilizing a lot of the mechanics. So while they felt like it was a success, they still will be making changes to this mode. Not to mention the fact that once again, they intentionally left stuff out. So we will be seeing features that they turned off specifically for the beta, but they at least had ready at that time. And that's always good. I feel like something that a lot of players are asking for is frame data. And I feel like while not every single player uses that stuff, it is better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So I hope that is one of the things that gets in there. They also talk a little bit about the mission mode, and here they specifically call out how people are going to be able to practice certain game mechanics such as the wall breaks, Roman cancels, and combos for each characters, as well as various techniques. But I'm more interested in the wall break mechanic. This is something that was highly inconsistent throughout the game. You do one specific combo and sometimes the wall breaks, sometimes it doesn't. They came out and said that the wall break mechanic has a lot of variables attached to it. Things such as height, the amount of hits, and where you started the combo from. But let's be real, how many average players, and I'm not talking professionals here, but like average everyday players, how many of them are really going to pay attention to all of those different things and be like, oh, gee whiz, I started a combo from 3/4 of the screen at approximately 6 feet high. That means if I hit the opponent down into the wall with a trajectory of 45 degrees, then the wall's not going to break so I can complete my combo. And while I might be exaggerating, right, I might be a little overzealous as far as that point's concerned, but the point still remains. There's a lot of factors that go into breaking the wall, which makes it super inconsistent for most players to reliably utilize. And I know I'm not alone in this thought. This is a criticism I've heard from professional players as well. So this is something I'd like to see them trim the fat down. That way you can actually practice the wall mechanic, because with the inconsistency, there's not really much to practice. Next on the chopping block, they get to talking about the online lobby. And you gotta give them props. Arxis is being super transparent and really taking responsibility for the feedback that they asked for and the feedback that people gave. They were super disappointed in themselves, and they want to make some changes to the online lobby as a result of that. Some of those changes being is they're going to allow a system where people can select a specific area that they want to have a match in. Obviously, we haven't seen this firsthand. We don't know exactly how this is going to visually be portrayed, but I'm imagining something like Dragon Ball FighterZ, where you can kind of set up your own little arena, a little ring appears around you in Dragon Ball FighterZ. That's kind of what I'm envisioning. I don't know if that's about the way it's going to work, but that's kind of the idea that I got from their explanation here. They also streamlined the fighting process, where after somebody wins a fight, both players are ready for battle again, unless somebody gets D-ranked or ranks up. And the thing a lot of people have been asking for, they added a rematch option. I mean, this is just a no-brainer. That's something that they have to have in any fighting game. And something I'm particularly a fan of is they added the ability to hide the news display. I personally hate when games have like news or any kind of heads-up display that covers a large portion of other important information, whether it's the actual screen so you can see what it is you're doing in the case of this lobby, or in other games where it blocks menus or other such things. It's just bad design overall. They're also expanding the lobby area. That way people have more room, things aren't so cluttered, and people could spread out a little bit. And they're giving the avatars a little bit of a dash movement. And one of the last big changes here is they're looking for ways to improve the visibility of menus over all of their modes. A lot of people complained about the design of Guilty Gear Strive. They didn't really like the menus, they didn't really like the HUD, they didn't really like any of that stuff. And it looks like while they may not be changing the overall aesthetic, they're at least changing the organization of some of those things, it seems. That way the menus are a little bit easier to go ahead and navigate. And while they didn't give us any specific release date, they did leave us off by saying they're gonna be kicking off a second open beta for us. And that open beta is gonna feature all of these changes. So you can go ahead and test out all these changes they spoke about today in the near future. So if you're excited for that, definitely keep your ear to the ground. And you can do that by subscribing here. I'm going to be keeping you guys up to date with any and all Guilty Gear Strive news. And if you enjoyed today's video, remember to hit the like button. It helps us out a bunch. Now, if you want something else to watch, if you want more content, we got a lot of Dragon Ball FighterZ stuff here. So feel free to click any of the videos on your screen now. Pick whichever one appeals to you the most. And as always, thank you guys very much for watching to the end. I really do appreciate it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, but until then, have yourselves a wonderful day.